Good evening, everybody, and welcome to FGMeCast for the ANZCAR Cup here tonight at Richmond Raceway, a track that can be very tricky and is a little bit loose out there. Joining me up in the booth tonight, as ever this season, is Dave Douglas. How you going, Dave?
Yeah, good, Carl. Good to be back. Hopefully no issues tonight. We can have a good run in the booth and on the track here tonight, mate.
Yeah, let's hope that technical issues don't rear their head. Let's hope the gremlins keep away this week, and we can be in for some good racing, and hopefully not too many things going wrong. We're just in practice at the moment. I'm just going to quickly run through the championship standings before we jump to the gridding up process. So if you just give me one moment to click on that right button. So we are currently in round 8 we've had 8 rounds, so round 9 of the season in the championship. Up front in the season standings is now Josh Michelmore with a total of 310 points. Behind him is Neil Pearson, 48 points behind now. Edward Foster in third, 64 points behind. In joint third is Michael Skurlock, making his way up the field, doing a good job last time out, managing to get 2 places as well, on 64 points behind the leader. 67 points behind the leader is Danny G, with Devon Stove in 6th, having those strong finishes towards the middle stage of the start of this season. 77 points behind the leader. We have Jason Martin in 7th, 79 points behind the leader. Raymond Yeager, 8th, 83 points behind the leader. Matty Raymond in 9th, who's 86 points behind the leader. And in 10th place is the ARCA champion, Lachlan Urquio, who is 98 points behind the leader. So championship is definitely getting a little bit closer and a little bit dicey up there. Josh Michelmore does have a bit of a lead. So he's managed to pull out a little bit of a lead, but it's going to be a tricky one for tonight because he had a bit of a rough one in qualifying.
And P2, his second place in championship, is on the pole tonight, so we'll let you run through the grid there, but we do know Neil Pearson will be starting out at the pole position tonight.
Yeah, Pearson up there on pole, so let's run through the grid order. So row 1 is Pearson and Martin. Row 2 is Carol Walden and Worley. Row 3, Foster, Skurlock. Row 4, Jones, Urquio. Row 5 is Neil and Dyson. Row 6, Williams, Hodgkin. Row 7, Danny G, Hamish Gallagher. Row 8 is Robbie and Anastakis. Row 9 is Raymond and Dortonak. Row 10 is Witcher and Roselle. Row 11, we have Yeager and Clark. 12, Schultz and Riley Curtis. 13th is Hunter and Dylan Wellman Trehair. 14th row. 15th row is Major and Finley. 16th we have Schroeder and Otto. 17th is Button Jackson. 18th is Turner and Cochrane. The 19th, Scott Griffith and Dwayne Priest. 20th we have Nigel Patton, Ruben Phelps, and right at the end of the grid is going to be Josh Michelmore, as we said, championship leader at the back of the grid. Guy in second place at the front of the grid, so it's going to be a interesting one to hear tonight. Michelmore is going to have to do some serious work to protect that lead. Pace car is coming around, the lights are out. We're going to get one more lap under pace car here, being relatively short track here at Richmond. What's your prediction? All right, Dave.
Mate, I'm going to say that the purple 21 of Jason Martin gets the job done tonight, but the big story is that the 31 of Josh Michelmore right off the back of this grid, so he's a leader of the championship. He's going to have a hard drive. He's going to have to come back through this field. Look for a few cautions here, though. As you said earlier in the broadcast, it's very loose in there tonight.
Yeah, it is really, really loose out there tonight. We could see a few cautions, unfortunately. I've got a feeling Neil Pearson's going to be strong out there tonight. He's got some strong pace, and we've seen him be quite strong this season, so I'm going to put my backing on him as the pace truck is going to come peeling in. Well, pace car is going to come peeling in very, very shortly, and we're going to be going green here at Richmond. Pace truck car does peel in. Pearson's going to drop the loud pedal, and we are going to be going green for Richmond Raceway for the ANZCAR Cup for round number 9.
Good jump for Pearson in the 9 as Jason Martin already looks down the inside, very close to the back of the 9 car there, almost a touch possibly there, as we've got the 35 of Josh Carroll and Worley, as he's having a great run at DPR car. Those DPR boys are starting to show their strength here.
Yeah, they are. One of the other drivers, Stephen Williams, I think it was, I saw him dropping back a little bit there, just having a bit of a bad start there for, it was either Andrew Dyson or Stephen Williams, just losing a couple of positions. They got caught up on that high line early on. it can be a bit tricky here. Sometimes you can run too wide for a little bit. But
traffic. So sorry to cut over there. Matt Hunter's had an issue there, obviously. So he's dropped back. You can see him there on the inside. So whether there was an issue earlier in that race, but he's lost a lot of time and he's already getting swallowed up by the field. Not a good start for 48.
Matt Hunter started from pit lane. So Matt Hunter starting from pit lane, and that has cost him dearly.
Yeah, there you go. So he may have missed a start or chose to do that, but either way, it's not ideal for him at the moment. But the guys have got themselves in the single file. There's a spinner in the background, actually. One just went down onto the grass on the infield there. I'm not sure who that was, but it's a crank car by the looks of it. Aiden Schultz, so the new recruit for the crank esports team, not having a good start to this one. He'll have to lick his wounds and get back under it and have another crack here. Yeah,
I'm just keeping an eye as well as Lachlan Urquio is coming to pit lane, so something has gone wrong for Lachlan Urquio as well. So I'm starting up there in 8th place. Maybe some form of technical issue there, as he has disconnected rather quickly. So unfortunately, Lachlan Urquio, first car out of the race tonight. Yeah, it's just a bit of a shame for Lachlan. He's had not too bad a pace lately, but see the 21 of Jason Martin is actually putting a little bit of pressure on the 9 of Neil Pearson, and there's another little look up the inside. It's his preferred line, but he just got a little gap then back to Worley. Yeah, that little bit of gap there is going to help them out. So driving around a track like this, Dave, obviously it's a little bit different to some of the other ovals out there and some of the other short tracks as well. You do have to sort of just roll off the brake pedal a little bit sometimes, don't you? Yeah, they'll be using plenty of brake pedal on this track to get it slowed down, otherwise you'll just lose too much time. Worley gets in the outside wall there, you would have just missed it on the screen. We've got, I think, Matt Hunter going around. Yeah, it looked like Hunter in the background. So Matt Hunter... so go on, sorry, Carl. So yeah, it looks like Matt Hunter's actually just lost it under acceleration coming out of the corner. Just behind him, Parry Anastakis as well, having the same issue, but but he managed to catch it, thankfully. Matt Hunter didn't, and he's gone into the wall. So that's going to bring out our first caution for the night. Matt Hunter, single car spin. We have had a rule change as well for this race and onwards, where it used to be single car spins would just be a write-off, but after last time out, we with the quite a few incidents and cautions, the rules have been changed slightly. So single car spins are now counted as notations from the marshals and things like that. So they now have a bit more meaning. Yeah, absolutely. I back ANZCAR's decision with that rule as well. They're sort of making the drivers a bit more accountable and trying to tidy up this racing a bit and put on a good show, basically, because no one wants to sit under caution at all. So good move by ANZCAR. Yeah, that's it. It's a tricky one. Matt Hunter going to be the first recipient, one of the actual admins of the series as well. So a bit unlucky for Matt Hunter there. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously starting from pit lane and just losing that there. Quite a few cars dashing into pit lane towards the back of the pack. A few cars coming in to get some new tyres. A few people getting some repairs done. A few cars out there actually have a fair bit of damage. The number 408 of Kai Turner, quite a bit of damage on the right front of that vehicle. So seems a few people have had a bit of a touch-up. Josh Michelmore as well, having a little bit of damage on the front of his car. He's managed to make it up to 27th at the moment, but yeah, he's definitely had a knock somewhere in the race and just caught a little bit of damage. Yeah, no surprises there. Big field, he's going to have to try and figure out how to get through it. But just as Matt was having a spin there, where I noticed the 233 of Worley had a touch with the outside wall coming out of 2 as well. So that sort of scattered the field a bit. And then just as I was about to call that, I saw a bit of smoke in the background. And yeah, unfortunately for Matt Hunter, I know him. He'll cop that on the chin. He'll have no issue with the penalty point against that. But it's not. Didn't get off to a good start and didn't get any better. No, it's a bit of a rough start for the night for Matt. He's down there, 2 laps down at the moment on my screen. Looks like I believe he's taken it behind the wall. Yeah, it looks like Lachlan Urquio has managed to get back out on track as well. So hopefully he's fixed the problem he was having. He is 6 laps down, but he is going to try and get that fixed up. Another car that got involved quite heavily in an incident is Mirko Dortnack in the 62, one of the other new Crank eSport drivers, of course, former Illusion driver back in the day, back long ago. So familiar with his teammates, of course, Mirko, but he has got quite a bit of damage on that car and is currently sat in pit lane. I'm just trying to sort of just have a little bit of a look.
He's got big damage. You can see on your screen there. He's got front, rear. I don't think there's a panel on there. He hasn't dented. So no, not a good start. As I said, new recruit again. So they've had a double recruit on the off week, during the week, and picked up Aiden Schultz and Mirko's back on board with the guys at Chris Purnell and Crank Esports. So good little team they got going on there. A couple of good powerhouse drivers, but not a good start for the new recruits.
Yeah, it looks like he had contact with the 555 of Aaron Major. Those cars getting together on lap 4, and big damage to Mirko Dordenak, and those cars actually going around but keeping going, possibly that early caution though caused by Matt Hunter.
All right, 2x2. Pace cars about to peel down into pit lane. We'll be going back to green flag racing. Any ticket o'clock here, lap 12 of, how many laps we got tonight? 150. And Neil Pearson hits the go pedal and he's away, and actually Worley gets a great start in behind him there. He'll challenge the 21 of Jason Martin down into turn 1 here.
Yeah, he's going to try and keep that inside line protected, but Jason Martin does get a good run on the outside, and he's going to actually get a good run on Neil Pearson here. If he can get the acceleration going properly, he could be in for a chance of getting past. It is a bit tricky running that higher line. Sometimes you can get a bit of better exit speed on the corner if it all goes right for you, but the inside line is the shorter line, and that's always the quickest one. So it's going to be defended quite hard by Neil Pearson, but they are fighting for that place at the moment, side by side, as the caution comes out again.
Could be involved in Lachlan, I'm hearing, possibly. He's come back out on track. We'll see if we can find a replay for you guys, but I believe the 42's got involved in there at the back of the pack there somewhere. As we jump to a replay now. Coming out of the...
Yeah,
issue there, but yeah, issue with the 42.
I'll talk you through what happened there. Actually, Lachlan's having some issues with his connection, and he had a connection failure, and he's gone back into the 104 of Christopher Finlay. So Christopher Finlay going into the back of him, unfortunately spun that car around, and Finlay, the unfortunate car to get involved in that, sadly. So a difficult one there, because obviously when you have a technical issue, it's a mechanical failure, really. If we're talking about Full Metal Motorsport, it is mechanical failure that you've got there when you have an internet or a technical issue with your equipment. So mechanical failure there for Lachlan Alquio, just causing that incident.
Yeah, a few drivers not to getting off to the best start tonight, but it's a shame though, because we were having a good little side-by-side ding-dong battle with our two leaders of the 21 and the 9 of Pearson up the front there. It was getting really dicey. I was looking forward to seeing who would come out on top, because on the entry, Jason Martin was going in there deep, and then just on the exit, the 9 would just pull a little bit of gap. So they never actually cleared each other. So it's about 2 or 3 laps of side-by-side racing there.
Yeah, car I want to actually jump back to, as we're just under caution at the moment, is Gary Wellman in 17th place, the Sim Boys car there. He's made 10 places so far this race. He's done a great job of working his way up the field, up there into the top 20 at the moment. So good job from him, and that car looks very, very clean as well. So good job to get up into those positions this early in the race. Still a long way to go though, of course, but he's behind the other green machine. On the restart, he'll be behind James Robbie in the other green machine, Justin Witcher just between those two in the number 10.
Yeah, definitely, mate. The 45 of Gary Wellman, mate, he's improving every race. But I've noticed he's getting faster and faster as the season goes on, which is good to see. It's always what you want to see. You want to improve yourself each race and try and better your last result. So yeah, he's doing really well this season.
Yeah, that's it. And it is a thing of you do improve as you're going through, and we've seen this with a lot of drivers. They may not have gotten off to the very best of starts in the season, but they do improve, and that's the thing that we watch for in ANZCAR, is people improving as they go on. And Gary Wellman's been doing a great job. He's one of those drivers that has been doing a fantastic job this season. One of those sort of newer drivers to the series, a bit like Ruben Phelps as well. He started 40th. And he's worked his way up to 27th at the moment, just behind Josh Michelmore. So another one of those drivers, Mark 1 Esport driver Ruben Phelps, doing a good job this season as well. We've mentioned him a lot, but he's been quite impressive with his debut season in the Cup cars and the trucks as well.
Yeah, it's only his second race for the Mark 1 team. But yeah, he's in there and doing a good job for those guys down there at Mark 1.
Yeah, that's it. And as we did say, we had a new driver for the Crank Esports team, and that was Aidan Schultz jumping over to that team, new to the Chris Purnell and Brett Douglas run team. So nice to see Aidan Schultz jumping over there. He's managed to get the car back up there, and it's looking pretty clean. So that early little run across the grass has not hurt him too much. He's down there at 30th, but hoping to get some better luck in that new paint job, I'm sure. The pace car lights have gone out, so we will be going back to green flag racing very shortly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that started here. It was very close on that start, very tight. The top sort of 5 are having a good little battle here, so see what eventuates here.
I just want to mention quickly DPR cars. We've got so many DPR cars up there in that sort of top 10, top 20 area at the moment. Good restart there. Looks like Philip Worley might be having a little bit of connectivity issue, maybe a couple of blinks on my screen at least. But good restart there from Neil Pearson. He manages to get away. Jason Martin has managed to slot there into second place, so he's managed to make that move count a little bit further back. Michael Skurlock battling it out with JCW. Joshua Carroll Walton there in the Natari Autosports car with that big FGMeCast sponsorship on the front, but he's got his teammate Edward Foster just behind him. You can see as well Barry Neal just catching up as well in the Gotcha Racing team. That beautiful looking car with the Maori inspired livery on it.
Yeah, much better jump from the 9 car there at the front, Pearson, as Michael Skurlock now makes the move up into 4th position on Josh Carl Walden, as these guys sort themselves out. Andrew Dyson, I think that's Dyson back there. He's got Denny G on his inside. He gets in the outside wall. Who's in the outside wall?
That was Dyson. Dyson, yeah.
Yeah, so he's improved much there as well. So he's slowly working these ovals out. He's quick on the road courses, and he's no slouch, starting to work his way through these ovals.
Yeah, starting to get improvements on the ovals. Another driver that is an absolute beast on road courses, but having not had the greatest start to the season. Just as he makes contact, Jason Hardigan behind him. Jason Hardigan just making contact into Dyson.
They're
big incident there.
Jeez, I saw there was a Mark 1 car involved in that late after the incident. The car went down the apron and was out of control. Unfortunately, nothing he could do, and you could see him slide back up onto the track. And a few other cars got involved in that one. So we'll see if we can pick up a replay. But yeah, we'll go back and have a look at that.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson.
As we roll back to a replay, you can see contact on the rear end there. And just as he came back down, he's gathered it up, and Hardikin is going straight back up the track. That's going to be a hard hit. That's going to be Wellman on the outside, I believe, there. Gets a hard lick into the car, then into the safety barrier. The Mark 1 car comes steaming in there as well. I think that might be Michael Schroeder, possibly. With the yellow number there, he makes contact, and then looks like a few of these other cars are going to get themselves checked up here. So good job to the for the most part there from the other cars.
Yeah, it can be tricky sometimes getting through those incidents, but yeah, Schroeder does make contact there. A few other cars as well, just getting caught up in that incident, just threading the needle.
Yeah. Just going to see there was a... The 5 car. Who's the 5 car here? Scott Griffiths. He saw that happen in front of him. He had nowhere to go. He had to just pull her up and park it up, basically. He had the 51 right in front of him, and yeah, it just pulled up, if we can get a shot of that. But yeah, the 5 car, Scott Griffiths, doing a good job to pull that one up.
Yeah, good situational awareness there. Unfortunate to get caught in that position, because it's never fun being caught there. And Jason
shot now, so you can see the cars in front. I reckon he's got nowhere to go on the brakes. Just gets it pulled up in time, and little light contact with the outside wall. Good replays there from our director Stuart Brown in the booth with us tonight.
Yeah, and very well done of good reverse driving there for Hardigan just to get him back on track there, because yeah, that car was absolutely stuck if he didn't reverse that vehicle. But yeah, tricky one.
Yeah, we'll just have a look at there's a few cars there involved in that, but I think the one I got the most would be the 45 and the 51 at Hardican. But few little bent panels out there for the other guys, but for most part of it, they'll get away with it because it's only a short track, so it won't have too much effect. But there's the 45 on screen and coming out of the pit lane, so he's going to get what he can repaired on that bad boy and get it back up to speed.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to put the curse of the commentator on that one because I was just about to talk about Jason Hardigan, talking about road races, and as soon as that happened, the incident happened, of course. So I'll mark that one down as a commentator's curse.
The two road races getting together, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Dyson and Hardigan, Hardigan straightened Dyson back up, got away with it, but unfortunately, copped it back basically, but no fault of Dyson, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate with situations like that because but they can be very tricky to control as well when you do get touched like that. If you just get caught on the wrong part of the car becomes incredibly hard to control. Their centre of balance, it just shifts all the way around, and then there is nothing you can do.
Yeah, definitely, and especially contact like that. He was away destination nowhere.
Yeah. That's it. So pace car light gone out once more. Pace car's going to come peeling into the pit lane. We're going to see another restart of Neil Pearson with Jason Martin on the outside, Philip Worley and Michael Skurlock there as well. Always an ever-present threat, Skurley. So watch out for him on this restart. Pearson gets a good jump away. He drops it before the green happens, and that's given Philip Worley the opportunity to get past Jason Martin. Will he be able to hold it in position? Can't quite get it back.
Deep on the brakes there. See if Worley can take advantage of that. Surely he must have got a countdown, possibly. If he's not, they probably need to work a bit better to get there. But Martin deep on the brakes there and holds position. Yeah,
real late break in there. Last of the late breakers there for Jason Martin. That was a brilliant job. Now he's going to drop down in front of Worley, and that's going to give Skurley the chance to try and go around the outside. You're going to see Skurlock make grip where there is none. He is a master of doing that, finding grip on a track where normally there would be none.
Yeah, he's having a good go on the outside there, the 350 of Skurlock. Almost making it work out there at the moment, but still got all one a bit loose in the background, but holds it. But he's not losing time up there. He's ahead right now, but he'll just lose it on the exit here a bit because it gets real tight. But he's going to make that pass and gets it done, actually. Great move by the 350 of Michael Skurlock.
Well, as I said, Skurlock, he is great at finding grip where there normally isn't any. He's one of those drivers.
Foster. Skurlock did, and he's going to have a crack at the same thing now.
Yeah, going to try and copy Skurlock's approach there and give it a go on the outside of Worley. He's going to push that car. As they do.
Sorry, not Skurlock. Foster drives in a bit deeper than before. He's might get the run off the turn now. As he might get clear, he should get clear by the time he gets to turn one, and he is clear. So he gets that spot off early as he's slowly dropping his way back, and Josh Carroll's going to have a crack on the outside too now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Worley managed that little bit of damage to the front is causing a bit more of an issue to him than he expected. That, or he might have just pushed the tyres a bit harder than some of the other drivers earlier in that stint to try and keep up with Jason Martin. Of course, that's one of the things you can sometimes do if you're a little bit less experienced. You sort of over push the car to try and keep up with those guys at the front, and they have a terribly annoying habit of managing to keep their tyres alive, despite the fact they are absolutely flying out there, while you are out there and you tend to chew them up a little bit quicker. Yeah,
definitely. It's easy to track to fall into, it's easy to race too hard, but right front will take a beating around this place if you drive too hard. But you can see up ahead there, we're right on board with Phil Worley at the moment, but you can see ahead of there that Skurlock is actually now starting to put the pressure on the 21 of Jason Martin for second position.
Yeah, Skurlock's going to be putting all of the pressure on Martin that he can, and you know, Skurlock, he is one of those drivers that always loves to race hard, so he is going to be really pushing it and trying to get that car right to the front of the grid as he gets a little bit of oversteer coming out the corner there onto the back straight there, but catches it right away. It almost looks like he didn't even have it. If I wasn't watching closely, I wouldn't have seen that one for sure. But yeah, good job from Skurlock. He is really pushing that car and he's starting to apply the pressure to Jason Martin. Foster's sitting back there as well, and he's just easing around. He's not putting as much pressure on Skurlock, but it looks like he might be just trying to save that car a little bit. waiting for things to happen and then push a little bit later in this stint.
Yeah, more than likely, but you can see the 9 car's just got a little bit of a gap now. Not sure whether Jason's just sort of looking after his tyres, getting himself into the rhythm, which is not stupid. You don't want to get into a race right now. There's still lots of laps left on the board. You want to get yourself in the rhythm here, save the tyres, and then they may come back to you at the end here. But yeah, pretty even Stevens at the front here, but we've got the 35 putting a lot of pressure on Philip Road back here, as you can see in your pictures back there a little bit further, as the 35's getting right up behind the 233.
Yeah, putting that pressure on JCW, and that 35 is trying to apply the pressure. And just behind him as well, you got Hamish Gallagher going down the inside.
Gee, that was tight.
Great driving there, side by side. You cannot get closer than that. Barry Neal giving a lot of, giving that just enough room. He just gave a NASCAR size gap as Danny G just getting slightly into the back of. I don't think he actually made contact, but he almost made contact with Barry Neal there. As we got a caution out.
Nigel Patton around on the front straight. The 90, car 90. As the leaders are about to come up on it. He gets it going. But yeah, not sure what happened there. But yeah, definitely the 90 of Nigel involved there.
Yeah, just going back to have a little look at that. So it looks like we'll try and get that replay going, but he was having a battle with the 550.
Oh, the 550. So that'll be cock on his inside there. He's just looked like he come down a little bit and wiped himself across the nose of Tristan there. Basically, yeah, there's no damage there, not too much damage. As he's got a few diving for the pits actually as we watch this replay, and yeah, a bit of an awkward one there, but a lot of the field pitting, and I think there's about 3 cars stayed out. I'm just going to go and check that as we finish watching that.
Yeah, Jason Martin stayed out in that stint. Michael Skurlock stayed out. Hamish Gallagher. Danny G has stayed out, I believe.
So
and Barry Neal.
Yeah, 5 cars stayed out there. So this will be very interesting when we go back to Green Flag Racing, just to see how this is going to work. I love it when the race turns to this. I love it when there's a bit of a mixture of strategies, because it can turn the race on its head and you don't know where it's going to end up.
Yeah, person this might work out for actually is Adam Rosell. He was a lap down, but he had just come into the pit lane as that caution flag came out. So
yeah, I think he's going to get sent to the back of the grid there anyway, being a lap down. So unfortunately, wrong time for him basically. If it was probably 20 seconds later, he might have got away with it.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of those. It could have worked out a little bit, but yeah, it just didn't quite work out. But it has given Aaron Dillon the chance to get back on the lead lap. So he is going to be on the lead lap at the back of the pack. Yep.
Free pass recipient, the 13 of Aaron Dillon. There he is, 013, sorry. As he gets the free pass. He'll get back onto the back of this pack. He'll have to drop to the end of the longest line because he is a recipient of that, but that's the price you pay. They say you can have your lap back, but you've got to start right at the back of the longest line.
Which is not a terrible thing. I mean, it's nice to have your lap back for sure. It does help out an awful lot. There are a couple of cars that have just come in to get some repairs done. Jason Hardigan, one of them, Kai Turner as well. So those guys came in, managed to get some repairs done before the pace car came around, so they didn't end up losing a lap. It is a bit harder here because it is a relatively short circuit. It's only 1.2 kilometers long here at Richmond. Not the shortest track we go to, but it is a relatively short track. So you have to be careful to not sit in the pit lane too long because you can easily lose a lap. But this restart is going to be an interesting one. We've got cars on some very, very fresh tyres and some cars on some not so fresh tyres out there. So it will be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And just going back to your point you're making with the short track, once you're sort of at the tail end of that field there, if you have an incident, just like you saw with the 90 there, the leaders come up on you really quick. So you've got to try and get that car gathered up, because if you don't get it gathered up, they'll just go right past you and you'll lose that lap. So he was lucky enough to just get it going. I think maybe not. I can't remember. I couldn't see, but I've been caught out with that before. So yeah, the short track racing, when you're at the back, you want to try and get that thing going as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they'll just go by and it'll score you down a lap.
Yeah, that's it. It's easy to happen. I'm just looking at positions. It looks like Foster's managed to jump Neil Pearson in the pit lane. So good stop for Foster in the pit lane. So he's managed to jump Neil Pearson. So he's the first car with those fresh tyres at the moment. Paul Jackson looks to have come in on one of the earlier cautions, so he has got slightly fresher tyres than those around him, but they are still some 35 laps old. So not exactly out the wrapper, but they will work. So we're going to have the green flag coming down very soon. Jason Martin's going to lead us away. They've got to be careful not to lose the car on acceleration here on those one tyres. Martin gets a good restart there. It's a Mitch car 1, 2, 3 on the bottom line. We've got a caution out straight away.
I'm not sure what it's for. Pearson's nearly ran up the back of his teammate in the one there. That was very close. But I didn't catch anything. I've got my iracing set up to catch up any crashes, but there was nothing. So I think that might be a phantom caution there. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, the field's a bit scattered here. There's cars all over the place. There's a bit of confusion out there. We've got Jason Martin slowing down. He's going to have to wait for the pace car here. It's coming down the back straight at the moment, so it's a long way behind. So, yeah, very strange caution, that one. I don't think it was for anything. I think it's just a anomaly, that. I imagine Carl is probably feverishly looking through the cars now. That's his silence.
Yeah.
He's having to dig around to see what he can...
I am doing that, and the caution is from Jason Hardigan. His engine blew.
Okay, right, I see. But did he just pull up on the apron or something, did he?
No, he actually was on the outside line. Up on the outside line, he was just getting ready for that restart. He put his foot down, and then all of a sudden, she let go. So that is the reason for that caution. So, yeah, Jason Hardigan there losing the engine on that restart.
Oh, no, good. That's an expensive one for the Tari Autosports team. They'll have to get a new one sorted for the next round, which I'm sure they've got a few in the shed down the back.
Oh, look, that's it. You always keep a few software engines in the back just in case with these things. But, yeah, engines not the easiest things to program and get ready for a race car, but you've got to get it there.
No, because, yeah, we've clearly seen that he's had some few issues tonight, and he's finally it's caught up with him, unfortunately, and he's going to be out of this race.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that when that caution initially happened, he did have quite a lot of contact to the front, so I imagine that it was causing issues and the car's just let itself go. So unfortunate there for Jason Hardigan, not the start of the season he would have wanted, but we are going to be heading to some road courses in the nearish future. So
yeah, we've got Circuit of the Americas coming up in about 5 weeks, I believe, is the next road course. So he'll be looking.
May, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be looking to have a good run there. Not sure how the race is going to be there, but anyway, we follow the real life series, and that's what they choose, so that's what we race. But quick update on your championship leader, coming from 41st in the starting grid. He's up to 18th at the moment, so he's worked himself up to halfway through this field, and it's only lap 48, so yeah, not too bad for Josh Michelmore there. Yeah,
really good run through the pack, and it's not an easy thing to do here. It's not the easiest track to pass on sometimes, Richmond. It's not an easy track just to drive around. I mean, if you're one of our viewers that owns iRacing and owns Richmond, say with Cup cars, go and take it for a test drive out there with the stock open setup and see how you do, because I guarantee you'll lose the car at least once or twice when you first put it out there, because it is so very slippery.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm not a fan of the track myself. Mainly because I'm not as good here as some other places. But yeah, I just don't find it very racy. I don't know, but yeah, that's my personal opinion. But even in real life,
yeah, there are some. It is one of those funny things that we do talk about in oval racing. Everybody looks at an oval and they go, well, that's the exact same thing, it's just a circle, but they are all so different. They all have their unique characters, be it from a short track like Richmond and Dover and Bristol and Martinsville. You know, they're all very different. They all have their own little unique features.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've got guys out there like JCW in the 35 who love coming here, so they're the backwards guys there.
The masochist of the pack, JCW.
But no, he was looking forward to this race, so hopefully he can move his way up through the positions here. So we're about to go back green flag racing as Jason Martin drops the hammer, and away we go. Much better start for the 350 on the outside there. He's got Hamish Gallagher, his teammate, on the inside, and further back is 24 of Denny G behind him.
Yeah, Mitch Motorsport cars have that inside line covered. They're just missing the one of Josh Michelmore as Foster almost gets clipped by Paul Jackson there. They manages to make it down on the inside.
Turn 3 there, you've got the 9, I think that's Pearson on the inside of Barry Neal.
Really squiggly there. Barry Anastakis as well, getting very loose too. Some real loose cars out there at the moment, and that's the trouble when you're out there. These cars haven't managed to get their tyres up. Josh just a little bit further back, just JCW making a big move as well. And Paul Jackson now, he's trying to make that inside line work on those fresher tyres, putting the pressure on there as they go around. Paul Jackson, of course, he is one of those drivers that stayed out and did not pit for new tyres.
Geez, that was tight. I think that was Dyson up the inside of Jackson there. It might be even Worley actually, because he just blinked, so I'm pretty sure Worley's the blinking one tonight. But yeah, he had a big dive at the inside of Jackson, just made the pass stick.
He did, and now you got Josh Michelmore there, just getting a little tiny bit loose as we've got a car off in the background. We've got a car around. I'm just trying to find out who that is.
Yeah, not sure, I didn't catch it on my end, but there was definitely smoke back there. Someone's taking a trip down through the grass there. Looks like Ruben Phelps, he's having a good battle here. He's got Dwayne Priest, he dives inside of Dwayne Priest, and they're 3 wide coming off turn 4 with... Oh, Priest gets loose. The 777's about to have a lose. He loses it. Oh, gee, the 93 Riley Curtis had the same problem. Just gets himself pulled up in time as gets out of it, and we stay green.
Nathan Button was the car that got loose that earlier time, so managed to find out that one. But yeah, so, some real loose action, people managing to save it, and people managing to keep it green as well. That's the most important thing. But it is very hectic out there. We've had a few 3 wide situations here at Richmond, and that's something that you don't generally want to do. 3 wide at Richmond is not a fun time, as Barry Neal and Ryan Jones now side by side with Joshua Carroll in the midst for that one. Barry Neal just on the outside line, can't quite keep it there. Ryan Jones is going to go down the inside. He's going to make it work, puts the foot on the floor. He's going to make that pass stick. Ryan Jones, winner of the Cup race last time out at Charlotte.
Big battle here up front. We've got the 9 on the inside of the 24 making his gains. He's making his way back to the field on those fresher tyres. Just past Denny G on the inside there into 1. And he's got Edward Foster in front of him in a bit of a battle as well with Hamish Gallagher. So those guys, Edward being the first car on these fresh tyres, are making their way back towards the front of this pack. And it won't be too long before we see the 53 car out front, I don't think.
Yeah, that's it. So close there between Gallagher and Foster. Those two were millimetre perfect. There was just a cigarette paper between those 2 cars for a couple of moments. Paul Jackson just making contact with the wall a little bit further back. He's managed to keep it going, but did take a bit of a bite out of the barrier. I think it was, or no, it was Barry Neal. Sorry, Barry Neal. Same coloured cars, wrong driver. But yeah, Foster getting that one perfect, getting that overtake done, and those fresh tyres are really going to help him out here, so he should make a good run. Of course, one of the things you have to remember is they do have a tyre limit for this, so you've only got 4 sets of tyres for the race. So those guys that come in only have 2 sets of tyres left for the rest of the race, while people like Jason Martin, Michael Skurlock, Hamish Gallagher, Danny G, they all have 3 sets of tyres left for this race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out as we see the 53 take that second position away from the 350 of Michael Skurlock, because we're right on board with Espen Foster at the moment. Our 2020 champion is now got the sights set on Jason Martin up front to try and get to the point of this race.
Neil Pearson also following him through the pack. He's side by side at the moment with Hamish Gallagher. He's got Skurlock right in front of him, and he's going to try and make the move. Skurlock just gets a little bit wiggly on the exit of the corner, and that's going to give Pearson the opportunity to get down the inside of him as they go through turns 3 and 4. Pearson's going to have the better acceleration here. Those slightly stickier tyres are going to help him out as we got a caution.
Good caution. I did hear someone.
Luke Trahir there, and Paul Jackson in that one. So
yeah,
we'll try
further in the pack. We're going to jump back to a replay here. As you can see, oh yeah, he's just got into the back of him by the looks of it. Oh, and he gets another hit there. Was that from Ruben Phelps, I believe, possibly? That
was from one of the Mark 1 cars. I'm thinking that might have been Michael Schroeder.
Schroeder, was it? Yeah, so you got the 2-3-1 of Paul Jackson. Just gets into the back of the 43 there, just ever so slightly, gets him loose. You can see all that smoke and keeps it off the wall. He does a great job here. But then, he's just going to get collected by a Mark 1 car here, and it is definitely Michael Schroeder in a 263. Just gets him right in the rear square flush and, punts him straight into the outside fence.
Really, really unfortunate there. So that was a big moment there, and that was a big lack of just a lack of braking there a little bit for Jackson. I think he just left it a tiny bit late, and that caused him just to go into the back of Trahir. Just an easy mistake to make sometimes. It's just you miss it by a couple of millimeters, and that's the kind of accident that will happen.
Yeah, well, that's it. These cars are already limited. Limited already. So any little touch is going to unsettle the car, and that's exactly what happened there. So slightest of touches, and around went the 43.
That's it. And the lit grimatation does make a difference, of course.
Did not make a feel like that. Struggle street.
It's nice to be the one not making the mistake for once. Hamish Gallagher coming into pit lane up the front of the back.
Gallagher comes in, but Jason Martin stays out. So he's going to have plenty of tyres left at the end of this one. So what are we, almost halfway? Yeah, not quite, but nearly.
Yeah, we're lap 65 of 150, so we've got 85 laps remaining of this race, so still quite a bit of time to go. The big thing is you do get a bit of a drop-off, and then you get that plateau effect of the tyres. So I think what Jason Martin is hoping for is that bit of green flag running we had is going to plateau the tyres of the guys that stopped. Sorry, excuse me, and make it so that they're not quite as speedy as they were.
I think I can understand why Jason's staying out here, because if he goes in like Hamish now, he knows that he's going to go right to the back of this field, and it's going to be a lot harder to try and pass 30 cars on fresh tyres than it was for those guys that passed the handful of cars that didn't stop before. So Jason's going to try and keep that track position, and possibly he might lose 5 or 6 spots now, but if another caution falls in say 20 laps time, he'll be able to go in with these other guys, because they'll take another stop, I reckon.
Yeah, that's it. Michael Skurlock also stopping for tyres that time round. So we had Skurlock come in as well from the lead. So Skurlock coming in that time round as well. So he's going to have those fresh tyres. He's down there in 26th position now. So he's going to have to fight his way through that field, and that's going to burn up those tyres pretty quickly as he's fighting his way up the pack.
Yeah, definitely. So those two cars are going to have to fight their way through. These guys will be they'll be a bit quicker than the guys in front of them, but I don't mind the strategy of Jason Martin by staying out here. I think it might work in his favour the way we're having to get cautions at the moment.
Yeah, and we have seen in the past as well, Jason Martin is one of those drivers that can almost summon rubber off the track to come onto his tyres and just almost rebuild them. He's very good at tyre saving. Annoyingly so sometimes when you're trying to race him, you sort of go, how are you still that quick when your tyres are that old? But very good at keeping those tyres alive longer into stints, and that's why Jason Martin is one of the top drivers in ANZCAR. He has that ability.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a lot of winning, a lot of miles, a lot of laps, so one to keep an eye on.
That's it. First Cup champion, I believe, back in the day. Long time ago, long time ago, back before I was on board even, that long ago. But we are going to be going back to green flag racing here. Jason Martin gets a good restart there. He doesn't lose the rear, which is important. Gets a much better restart over Foster. Neil Pearson actually has a good jump as well. Pearson's going to have that inside line. Going to be side by side for Foster and Pearson right now. The two white and red cars of Foster and Pearson, different teams but similar colour paint jobs, of course. Bridgestone liveried Foster on the outside, the Simrigs livery of Neil Pearson on the inside. Looks to have it at the moment, gets a little bit of a wiggle. This could give Foster the opportunity to get a bit of a better run into the corner. Will he have the grip to make it round the outside? Doesn't quite look like the outside's working for him at the moment. He needs to try and get ahead of Pearson to get in front of this race. As these two battle out, though, it's going to give Jason Martin the opportunity just to get a little bit more of a gap. Oh, Pearson has lost the rear there. Big oversteer there. Great save from Pearson, but that's going to give Foster an opportunity. Can't quite make it work this time round.
Yeah, he did get loose there as Foster gets clear now, and we'll drop down in front of the 9 car of Pearson. So good little fight there, and Foster gets one up over Neil Pearson there early.
We've got a caution out again, as I think it's Nathan Button this time. Nathan Button and Tristan Koch, I believe. Nathan Button and Tristan Koch there just getting into each other.
Oh,
and yeah, big contact there, and that's launched them in there, and those two cars are going to be pretty damaged for the rest of the night.
Yeah, so 167 there. So you can see on the replay there, Tristan grabbing reverse there, doing a little skid to get it going again, but no, not ideal circumstances for those two drivers there at the back of the pack.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing with that sort of situation. I mean, it is part of the racing, of course, and those guys racing hard, but just that little lapse of concentration there, and a tiny bit of contact, and that is the end of that race for those two.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just listening to the radio chat at the moment. They're talking futures here. And because I'll be back in amongst this pack in about 4 weeks' time, I've got a little bit of eavesdropping going on.
Yeah, that's it. You're jumping back into the field, of course. We noticed that, of course, that there is a bit of a gap now in Mark 1 Esports. Now that Schultze has left, so that at least there's an opening for a team position for you somewhere down the field, Dave.
Oh, mate, I'm sure there is. I'm sure we'll be able to get out there and do some driving, mate.
Been in contact with the Mitch Motorsport boys much over the last couple of weeks?
Oh, mate, loose lips sink ships, mate. So I'll keep my lips closed on that one.
So, just while we've got a bit of a lull period, do you know which track you're going to be back on?
Dover.
It's going to be exciting. Oh, Dover, you're just in time to come back for COTA as well.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited before. If you didn't hear me explaining it, and that's why I knew it was coming up.
I'll be excited to have you back in the series. So, of course, while we are under a bit of a lull period here, we'll mention our main sponsor here on FGMeCast for the ANZCAR series, AJ Insurance Services. If you're out on the roads or anything like that and have a nasty accident, you do want to make sure you've got some form of insurance there to help you out. AJ Insurance Services are the company to look at. Make sure to give them a call, get in contact with them if you are looking to change insurance providers, and let them know FGMeCast sent you.
Nice little plug there for our mate Ruben Phelps. So I want to make a good mention here. New recruit for Mark 1 Esports, up to 12th. Started 40th and is sitting 12th. So he's on a similar path as Josh Michelmore. Michelmore is now 8th after starting 41st. So he's only a couple spots behind him. So he's following him through the field. So good job by those two guys being able to stay relatively clean and work their way up towards the front of this pack.
Yeah, also another driver as well, just to mention as well, Scott Griffiths. We saw him got parked up behind...
yeah, you're right. So
behind Hardigan.
Yep.
And he's made up 23, 24 positions up there. He's currently running in 13th position. So another stellar drive for Griffiths, one of the rookies to the series as well. And we've seen some really good drives from some of the newer drivers this year. And that's what we love seeing in the sport, of course. And some solid performances from those guys, which is always good to see. Pace car lights are out once again. Jason Martin is going to lead the field away. He's got to make this start perfect and not have too much wheel spin. Will he do it? He's waiting, and he drops the hammer, gets a good restart there, manages to get a good launch away. Foster is managed to keep it relatively good behind him, keep up in front of Neil Pearson. He's going to drop down, keep on that low line, and now start trying to hunt down Jason Martin. Ryan Jones just behind, trying to make a move on Pearson, can't quite make it stick at the moment. Joshua Carroll-Walden as well, battling away there, as well as Josh Michelmore too. He is fighting his way through that field as well. Just to mention for Danny G, down in 9th or 10th at the moment, depending on whereabouts he is on this lap. He is on that other strategy, so he is on those older tyres, but he is keeping out there and he's still up there in the top 10.
You see in the middle of your screen there, Ruben Phelps having a big dive on the inside of Andrew Dyson down into turn 2 there. Now he's about to get dive on there by Stephen Williams, I think it is, in the other DPR car. So he's in a DPR sandwich at the moment, but much better start for Jason and Edward there gets the jump. So those three status quo at the front where they were when the caution came out.
That's it. Foster at the moment setting the faster laps out there, only by a couple of tenths, but he is definitely the faster of those cars. So expect to see him catching to the back of Jason Martin very shortly, as he's got a little bit more rubber left on that car. Curse of the commentator kicks in a little bit for Scott Griffiths, I think, as he just makes a little bit of contact with the wall. No big damage though, but a little bit of a bite into the wall there, just after we mention him, of course, as the curse goes.
I was going to throw you under the bus with it. Nah, I'll keep it quiet, but just keeping an eye on Skurlock, remembering Skurlock and Hamish Gallagher took fresh tyres on that one, so they're working their way back through the field. I think Hamish is 19th at the moment, and Skurlock is in front of him.
14th position for Skurlock at the moment. So Skurlock is right behind James Robbie right now. He managed to get past a few other drivers, Scott Griffiths included, but Skurlock is now working his way up the field. So he's starting to have a bit of a hard charge up there, and he's managed to pull away now. He's chasing down James Robbie and going to try and make the inside pass on him.
He's going to get that one done fairly easy. May have even bit of a bump and run on James Robbie there, but no intention there, but he gets that job done, and he's now working his way up to, where is he sitting? About 10th, about 10th now, I think.
13th position for Skurlock at the moment. He's just behind Parry Anastakis, so a little bit back, but he will be up in that top 10 within a couple of blinks of an eye. He is definitely chasing his way up there. At the moment, you got Andrew Dyson with Ruben Phelps right on his tail, Danny G on the outside there.
Too. Ruben Phelps and Andrew Dyson having a good battle here. He's on the inside of Danny G on your screens, as you can see. He takes a big dive in there to one. Trying to make the pass on the 24. He's not going to quite get it done. Oh, gets a little bit loose on the exit, holds it, and he's going to just lose that spot now, but now he comes under pressure from the 98 of Stephen Williams.
And Michael Skurlock as well. Skurlock right on his tail. So, yeah, big move there. He went a little bit too close to the apron, and that cost him, took a little bit too much of a tight turn there for Ruben Phelps. One of those little mistakes that you can make sometimes, and that's one of the things about being slightly newer to the series, is sometimes you make those little mistakes in the heat of the battle. But
350.
he managed to keep it going in the straight line, which is the most important thing.
Yep, as the 350 of Michael Skurlock now looks to make that pass on Ruben. So he's just going to drop a spot here. But realistically, he's probably not racing the 350 right now. He's just got to let him go and concentrate on the guys in front of him.
Yeah, that's it. It's important not to race some...
Hamish, big dive, sorry. He's giving me a bit of a fright. Hamish is right behind the 350 now, and they're little battle pack going on here, so Hamish is getting involved too, as we got a yellow flag.
Caution is out again.
Must be something at the back of the pack, because I didn't pick it up.
We'll try and figure out what happened there. I think it might be Gary Wellman with that one. Gary Wellman losing the car across the start-finish line. He's lost it into turn number 1. Back end has stepped out on him, and I think that might be the cause for the caution, because he's had a big wobble, lost it on the back straight, bang into the barrier. Yep, Gary Wellman caused that caution.
I reckon he's on. He might be on 2 strikes already, Gary, but yeah, we give him a good rap at the start of the night, and yeah, now he's we put the knocker on him real proper.
It's as ever, the great Murray Walker curse of the commentator is a thing, and unfortunately it is. Jason Martin coming into pit lane by the looks of things, and yes, he is. Neil Pearson following him.
Just snuck in there as the 35 chooses to stay out.
Yeah, that was Joshua Carroll-Walden is sticking it out there, though. JCW has decided to stay out there.
350 stayed out. Barry Neal has stayed out as well.
Yeah, I was going to say the big gainers for this are going to be Skurlock and Barry Neal. Barry Neal, he came in on that last caution, so his tyres have only done 16 laps so far, so he's got some nice, fresh tyres underneath.
Oh, we got Joshua Michelmore around in the pits. He's just been turned. Michelmore's been turned in the pit lane here by Worley, I'm pretty sure it is. You can see him there on board now. He's just got to go on now. He's had to drive straight out of pits. He's missed his box completely. That's a disastrous stop for the 31 of our championship leader, Josh Michelmore. We'll see if we can get a replay of that. But yeah, that contact in the pit lane is never ideal at any racetrack, and yeah, especially not when you're trying to win a championship here.
No, that's it. It was Worley there who just went into the back of Michelmore and spun him around, unfortunately.
took myself up on the strategy with Jason Martin, saying that if he stays out there long enough, he might be able to keep the lead, lose a couple of spots, and pit with the rest of the guys. So, well, that's just happened. So, give myself a little tick there. But yeah, odd bit of contact. So yeah, well, it's just obviously they're trying to find their pit bays, pit boxes in the. It's really tight in there, and sometimes you can just cross over the nose of someone else without even knowing they're there. Because once you're in that pit lane, you don't get a spotter. You don't know they're there unless you actually physically see them in the mirrors.
Yeah, that's it. A weird one from Michelmore because he missed his pit box, and then he obviously was caught on the inside line, and Worley's just gone down there to go into his pit box, of course, and not realised that Michelmore was that close. But odd for Michelmore to miss his pit box. Obviously, he's right at the back of the lane, so he didn't quite get it slowed down enough, and he just had to abandon that one. So a real disaster there for Josh Michelmore.
Yeah, I think that's caught him out. I don't think he remembered he was at the start of the pit lane. I think he's used to being down the front. Yeah, you can see him. He takes a dive to the inside. I'm just watching a replay back on my screen. He notices it's too late, and then he just keeps driving. And unfortunately, the 233s on his outside has to cross over, just not clear enough, and makes contact with the right rear corner of the 31. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, unfortunate incident there, and it's one of those things that can happen sometimes. I mean, I've made contact in the pits before, and you do feel like a right idiot when it happens, of course. It's never a fun thing to do, but it is an easy one to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I guess luckily for Worley and Michelmore, not so much, but the damage was already done for Michelmore. He was on his way out, so he'd already missed his box, and the damage was already done, so that didn't hurt him anymore about the contact. So if anyone had hurt, it was unfortunate for the 233 of Worley. Yeah,
that's it. I think it would have been much worse if Michelmore had made that stop and was coming out then, because that would have been Michelmore up into the lead. Right now we have Joshua Carroll and Michael Scull on the front. Barry Neal and Dwayne Priest working his way back up the field. We've seen this a few times from Dwayne this season, having some good runs in the 777 there. 34 positions gained so far. He's right up there at the top of the field, but he is on quite old tyres. Quite a mixture of tyres, though, all the way down to Edward Foster and Jason Martin as we go back to green.
I've got loose on the restart there on those old tyres. He got it gathered up, but that gives the 350 a good little sniff on the outside, being on a little bit younger tyre as well. The 350 should be able to clear him down the back straight here, but Josh is going to try and make a battle out of it. Good little view here from third place car of Barry Neal riding on board, and you can see the two guys up front fighting. Scullock gets across and makes that move.
Yeah, manages to make that one stick. Very tricky restart there for Joshua Carroll and JCW. It's not easy on these tyres sometimes, but he is going to start hemorrhaging positions, I think, as Barry Neal comes down underneath him again on those much fresher tyres. They get very close there as they go through turns 1 and 2. But Barry Neal's got that inside line, and you're going to see JCW, I think, struggle to hold for this position. He's going to drop back into the clutches of Riley Curtis, I reckon.
3 wide now.
Oh, as we got a big off in the background. Scott Griffiths off in the background. So we'll jump back and have a look at that. Yeah, so it just looks like single car. He's just lost it on the outside. There is actually, there's a second incident going on behind him, actually. So I'm just going to quickly go back and have a little bit of a look-see and see who that was, because there was a second incident going on behind Scott Griffiths, completely unconnected. Maybe Nathan Button. Just try and have a figure out of who this was. It was the 408. So 408. Kai Turner. Yeah, he's actually had a spin all of his own as well. He's so there's been a sort of, it's almost like a double car loss there, both of them single car losses, but Kai Turner just losing it and basically doing a drift down the back straight, but managed to stop it at the end. So It'll be an interesting one because with that being, with both of those cars happening at the same time, it's going to be who brought out the caution that will be the one that get the penalty for that. So Kai might be actually in some luck with Scott Griffiths having that spin before him. He might get away with it. So it depends which one of those cars brought out the caution as to who's going to get the strike, I'd say.
It could go either way. It could go both going to get the strike because they both spun, so and the caution come out. So they might be both unlucky there. But either way, you don't want to be spinning, and both those cars are facing the wrong way. So hard luck for those guys.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be an interesting little look on the for the stewards after the race. I'm sure we'll have a couple of coffees ready for that one and have a little bit of a look through and try and head scratch our way through working out what happened there.
There's a bit of a shuffle up here.
Sorry, Dave, you're very... Sorry, Dave, we've lost your mic a little bit. Douglas said just being attacked by his microphone, apparently. Hopefully he's okay and the microphone hasn't killed him. So hopefully he'll be back in a moment. But this is going to be a reprieve for Joshua Carroll-Walden. That's going to help him a little bit more as this caution comes out. I didn't see anyone come into pit lane from the top this time around. So it'll be interesting to see how this one works out. But Skurlock is up there in the lead.
Yeah, hopefully that's all sorted now. Is that? Can I get a mic check? Mic check.
Yeah, 10-4, buddy, 10-4.
That's standard iracing. You get into the rooms, mate, you give them a mic check. But, yeah, the field's a bit bunched up here. We've got Riley Curtis up here in fourth. And so he's coming out of nowhere. I haven't actually kept an eye on his progress, but he's up there. He's up there in fourth position at the moment, running the top five. And he's got Dwayne Priest behind him as well in the fifth position.
Yeah, we've got 20 positions gained for Riley Curtis, 33 positions for Dwayne Priest, 28 for Paul Jackson, and 33 for Josh Michelmore. So some big gainers are up there at the top at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And bear in mind, like, pit stops would have mixed this up a bit, but yeah, they're being scored in those positions. So right now it's merit. So be interesting to see how this one turns out because there's a bit at play here at the moment.
Yeah, Josh Michelmore, I think he ended up abandoning that pit stop, so he didn't end up taking a stop. So he's still on those slightly older tyres. So that's going to be interesting to see how he does. So he's going to be praying for a caution again in probably about the next 5 to 10 laps. So everybody comes in for a fresh set of tyres. But Skurlock is going to lead away. Barry Neal on the outside. Pace car is going to come in. When is Skurlock going to drop the loud pedal? He does it now. Gets a good restart there. Launches away from JCW behind him, who gets a little bit squirrely there. Barry Neal as well gets a good start, but not as good as Skurlock, who was like a greased whippet there.
Yeah, great jump from the 350 up there, being on those slightly fresher tyres. Evan Foster getting his nose box in there, almost gets 3 wide, and Ruben Phelps having a dive inside of Pearson now on the 9, so they're 3 wide. He's actually ran his teammate up the track a bit there as well. So there's a battle going on there. Oh, and Ruben Phelps cuts one across the nose from Pearson. He's going to hold it. No, he's not. He is.
He manages to hold that somehow.
Well done to Ruben there. The 9 car has very aggressively just chopped his nose off there, which is probably a little bit too eager beaver there for my liking. But Ruben manages to save it.
Oh, as Foster loses it, Foster's lost it coming into turn number 4. Foster's back end has just stepped out a little bit by the looks of it, and he's getting caught by Neil Pearson.
Oh, jeez, there's a lot going on out there at the moment. That's all happening. We'll get some replays up for you guys in a second, but
yeah, a lot happening there.
That's big, a lot of cars. Here we go, the replays. Foster gets turned. By the looks of it, is that Andrew Dyson down inside?
It was Neil Pearson.
Andrew Dyson it is, and he gets hit by the 144, which has got nowhere to go. He runs straight into the side of the 53, and then you see the cars behind him just start piling it as well. One of them was Schroeder, one of them's Phil Otto. I'm not sure who the other one was. There was a third one in the back there. There's Phil Otto there. You can ride on board. He's just made contact there. So hard hits for a few drivers there. So, yeah, interesting one there. So, yeah, action aplenty right now. As you can see, right on board with Phil Otto now. Smoke everywhere. Nowhere to go. Bang. And, yeah, nothing Phil could do there.
No, big impact there. So, yeah, it's a big tricky one. There was also a little bit of another checkup a little bit further back between Luke Trahir as well and somebody else. Luke Trahir just just losing it a bit under brakes. I think he saw maybe a little bit of smoke up front, but he braked a bit late, and the number 90, I think it was, went into him. So Luke Trahir just having a bit of a moment as well there. But he's actually the lucky dog this time round, so he's going to get back on the lead lap. So
get the
good news for him.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm just going back and just checking to see exactly what happened to 53 there. So he actually got loose off turn 4 there, and Andrew Dyson, because he would have had to check up, just didn't get checked up in time. So yeah, that'll be on the 53, that one, unfortunately. But yeah, Dyson not doing him any favours, and yeah, just wasn't able to just clear him, and yeah, that's part of racing, that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's it. Unfortunately, it's an easy thing to happen. And as we said, you know, these cars are not easy to control. They are very, very loose out there. And when you're running side by side like that, just the tiniest mistake can lead to a massive incident like we saw there. And yeah, Foster just losing that rear end through the mid-corner there and just unable to do anything. Dyson just really sort of, I think even if Dyson wasn't there, I think Foster would have probably been going for a bit of a spin there, but he might have caught it in time, but it was a really tricky position to be in.
Yeah, tell you what, the 53 took some hard hits there. He was spinning left, right, centre. He was into the wall. He was getting bloody pinged up the side of the car. So yeah, he had it all going on then.
That's it.
Because that's what happens when you spin in front of the pack. So yeah, not a good night for the 53 now. He's going to have to try and recover from that. We'll see how much damage he has, whether he's got terminal damage as well, because there was some big hits as he comes down pit road. Pit road's actually closed, but he just comes in anyway. You saw the red light on there, but he's going to come and get what he can repaired, and hopefully not too much damage to that engine as well.
Well, that's the thing, is if he's got some serious damage, that might be it for the 53 tonight. So it's going to be a tricky one, and that's not what you want to have happen. Of course, you do have some drop rounds in the Cup Series, so that does sort of lessen the pain sometimes as you go into the chase. So I think it's 4 drop rounds for the season, because it is such a very long season, of course. But I imagine this might be one of those rounds that the 53 might be dropping.
Yeah, absolutely. You never want to have a bad result, but they're going to happen from time to time, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it there. Like, he just got loose. Looked like he probably would have saved it, but yeah, unfortunately, racing incident, just got helped around in the end, and it is what it is.
Well, this is the tricky thing, and this is one of the harder things for the series, as the pace car will be coming in a little bit. We've got a couple of minutes to talk about it, but when we're talking about single car spins, bringing out cautions, things like that, you know, sometimes it is unavoidable. You know, you do have these little tiny moments, and then when you are racing so close with each other, it can become an absolutely huge moment, and that's where it becomes very tricky in officiating and setting rules. But pace car has come in. We've seen Michael Skurlock not wait for that one. He dropped the plough pedal as soon as he could. He has got an absolute flying start there, launched himself away from Barry Neal. Joshua Carroll-Walton's big impact into Riley Curtis.
Saves it.
Dwayne Priest there, I think that was up into Riley Curtis, but Curtis did save it. What a save from Curtis. But yeah, Dwayne Priest just catching Curtis there. Curtis managed to keep that out of the barrier as well. He just drifted that perfectly around the corner. Brilliant save by Curtis.
Yeah, look, he'll get that thing going again, but yeah, he's lost a ton of spots there, unfortunately, so not ideal for Riley, but yeah, he'll get back. Oh, he's got one spinning in front of James Robbie, I think. No, yeah, it is. James Robbie. Aiden Schultz has taken a heavy hit. We've got a lot of cars involved in this one.
Yeah, a lot of cars involved in that one. James Robbie there just losing it. So yeah, just lost it, coming out the corner. He's tried to save it, gone up into the wall, down into one of the other cars, and that's caused him to spin around, and then, as I say,
look at this. There's just cars piling in here. Hard hit for Aiden on the inside wall. He's been hit from pillar to post there. Raymond Yeager's involved there. I see another Mac One esports car is going to get involved there. Little touch on James Robbie, but yeah, we might be able to get some onboard replays there. We see some of them cars getting hammered around. So yeah, not ideal for a lot of those cars there.
Yeah, big impact for Phil Otto. Big impact for Phil Otto as well, actually. Was just having a bit of a look back there as well. A lot of cars involved in that one, unfortunately. That was a absolutely huge wreck, and that is the big one.
Now, actually, as you see, Edward checks up on his inside there. He's getting through. Smoke, bang, straight into the back of Jaeger, and then he gets hit again in the rear. What looks good from another car. So, yeah, not ideal, but I did see the 53 check straight up. So he must have got through it. So
yeah,
to a certain degree.
Yeah, Foster, he just watching that, you could see Phil Otto just kept some power in there, and Foster just went straight off the accelerator, went straight to the bottom of the track, and just avoided all of that carnage somehow. So, yeah, that's one saving grace for him tonight. But yeah, a lot of cars caught up in that, and a lot of cars all across the track. So that was a big smash.
Yeah, absolutely right on board with Edward Foster through this one. You see it all happening on his outside there. He gets checked up. You see the guys going straight to the accident there, and you can see at the back here. Great camera work from Stu in the booth here. So get some good replays here for you guys at home.
Yeah, so good effort to keep it out of there, and it is easier said than done. As we have said before, the new smoke model is just horrific when you're having a crash in front of you, and it is very scary sometimes because you just can't see a thing, as you can see right here from Patton, like just going in there and you're just holding on the brakes. You couldn't even see the car in front of him until he made contact.
He went straight to the Woolworths parking lot down in turn 3 there. Unfortunately, he's got involved in there. Not much he could do. He sort of just had to try and check up, and the guys behind him give him a couple of bumps. It's the Concertina. But, yeah, big incident, that one.
Yeah, unfortunate than that one. So, yeah, that's going to be a unfortunate one for a few drivers. There's going to be some heartbreak out there tonight, as is always the case in motorsport.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, excuse me, I was just laughing there. A bit of banter going on out there on the track at the moment between the drivers. Bit of back and forth going on. So, Skurlock's got plenty to say out there.
Skurlock isn't known to talk much for a race, is he? He's usually one of the quiet guys.
Only stuff he does talk is rubbish too, by the way. So. But, yeah, he can see the funny side of it because he's sitting at P1 at the moment. So, yeah, he's having a bit of fun.
Yeah, I was actually listening to the Locked On Lads podcast that they have going. They had Chris Purnell on there this evening as one of their guests, and they were talking about the Bathurst 12 hours loss that they had. Skurlock coming over the radio and starting to sing to the teammates, distracting him slightly, causing the crash. So yeah, quite an interesting one. And thank you very much to all of those guys as well for covering it.
Anyway, we've got a race down here, so we've got to go back racing again. We'll see if we can get some green flag running in here. Skurlock jumps again out like a cannon. And Ryan Jones is sort of following him in there behind him, so he might take advantage of this and get up the inside of Barry Neal. We have obviously lost Riley Curtis to contact before. Michelmore has slipped on up there, though, so keep an eye on his progress after that terrible pit stop he had earlier, but he's merked his way. Oh, Ryan Jones nearly. Oh, I reckon he did make contact with the 22 there. Really tight, so that's 3 wide down the front straight now for 5th, 3rd and 4th here.
Yeah, just one to watch out for is Neil Pearson, Jason Martin, Josh Michelmore, and Ryan Jones, Danny G as well. Pretty much all those guys there. They're all on younger tyres than Michael Skurlock and Barry Neal. So those guys have got much fresher rubber than the guys in front at the moment.
There's the 31 car's getting a little bit tail happy on the exit there. He got a bit loose, but keeps out of control as the 21 makes that pass. Now we've got a Mac 1 Esports car down the apron here. Might be Ruben by the looks of it, so he may have got a penalty he's had to serve there, so good chance he's been through pit lane for observing a penalty.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ruben tonight.
The outside wall there, sorry to cut over there, he's just rubbing that outside wall, using up all the track he can there, and he's slowly moving back here. He was up there before, now he's making contact with the 22. Oh, we got Paul Jackson's at a half spin, he got it back under control though, so he's dropping a lot of spots.
He is, and there's quite a bit of smoke up in the front. I think it might be Parry Anastakis there with an engine failing, so he's going to get it off the track. Looks like his engine is goner, so he's managed to get it down on the apron, and he's going to try and roll it round and hopefully get it to pit lane without causing a caution to come out.
There's a big battle going on here with Hamish Gallagher, Danny G, Ryan Jones. Josh Michelmore's in there. We've got the lap down car, Ruben Phelps as well, not making anything easy. He's got a right to race in there as well. He's trying to
up the front. Sorry, we got Neil Pearson making a move on Barry Neal at the moment. Those two are battling it out, and Pearson goes down the inside, makes the move on Barry Neal and makes it stick. Good drive from Neil Pearson there, managing to get down on the inside of Barry Neal and get that position. But as you said, yeah, that battle behind is absolute chaos at the moment. Danny G side by side with Ruben Phelps at the moment, who is trying his best to keep up there and not lose more than a lap, and try and keeping the first car. That is a lap down, of course, because that will give you the wave around if the caution does come out.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's got every right to be there. He doesn't have to give way. The guys are racing. They make the way past, but some guys make it easy, some guys don't. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, you've got you don't have to make it easy. That's the big thing of oval racing. The blue flags, they are not a thing that come out in oval racing, and keeping on that lead lap can change your fortune. We saw it at the beginning of the year for this man in the lead, Michael Skurlock, of course, getting that win at Daytona. He was a lap down at one stage, managed to get back on the lead lap and then somehow win the race in spectacular Skurlock fashion, as is often the case when he wins a race. But he has managed to keep up there. Meanwhile, I think that was Aidan Schultz just coming into pit lane. Yeah,
he's just about missing every single penalty on that car, so not unknown territory for Aidan. Unfortunately, he gets involved in a lot of incidents, but a lot of it not of his doing, unfortunately for him. But another one that is going to bite the dust tonight. He's the unfortunate new recruit for Crank Esports.
Yeah, I swear they need to basically paint that car in 4-leaf clovers for him to try and counteract some of the bad luck that he's had this season. We've seen it a few times. You do make your own luck in motorsport sometimes, but some of it has just been so unfortunate for him. It's been heartbreaking to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keeping an eye on that battle that's sort of simmered out a little bit now. They're all sort of single file against the blue green flag running here, so hopefully, we only got 25 laps to go, as a matter of fact. I didn't realise we were long into the race, so there's not too much to go. So these guys should get home here. So the battle up front is, I reckon, at the moment, for the race win.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, a late caution here. Could see a lot of people coming in and putting on those fresh tyres.
Things up, but yeah.
But at the moment, you've got Pearson and Skurlock fighting it out. Skurlock is on some very old tyres. His tyres are are almost 25 laps older than Neil Pearson's, so they are definitely getting towards the end of their warranty period. But he is keeping it going. Drivers were saying that tyre wear wasn't as bad as it could have been, but sometimes tyre heat was the issue, and that's sometimes the case.
Danny G's making a move on John Jones. He almost runs into his teammate of the 31, Danny G's teammate up there in front, but manages to get it pulled up. Was all locked up on the brakes there, so these boys are going at it again now. That simmered out, but now they're starting to get racy again, as we've got the 35 Josh Carroll on the inside of Philip Worley now, just behind those guys. Yeah,
a bit of a Mitch Motorsport sandwich as Danny G does make the move down on Ryan Jones there. He's going to try and make this one stick. He's going to force Ryan Jones onto that outside. Got Hamish Gallagher right behind him trying to stick to the back of Danny G at the moment. And they're going to try and make a bit of a Mitch train on that bottom line now, as you've got Josh Michelmore, Danny G and Hamish Gallagher there. Ryan Jones is the fly in the ointment for that team at the moment. He can't get down on that inside line, and it looks like JCW is going to get himself into that position as well to try and keep Ryan Jones blocked out on that outside line.
Yeah, Josh has got a bit of pace at the moment in the 35, so he's looking to use that up. But he's probably got a bit more pace than... Oh, Hamish gets a little bit loose. He's going to gather it up, though. But, these tyres are getting a bit more, but we've got a yellow flag.
Caution is out once more. Kai Turner in the wall, I can see straight away.
Turn 3 there. He's going to get a turn around. He's better turn right in front of the leaders. Oh, he's almost got himself caught up with the leaders coming around there, unfortunately, but managed to stop before he did any further damage.
Yeah, he let go of the brakes and tried to spin it round, and that was that's gonna get a that's not going to be looked upon favourably by the stewards. I can say that for sure.
No, but as I said, you do got to try and get it going as quickly as possible, because those leaders come up with you very quickly, but you got to do it safely as well. So Yeah, we'll have to see what they say about that one. I reckon it's his second strike for the night, though. So there's going to be a few people that are going to be a bit sore after this one, I reckon.
Yeah, that's it. It's been a rough race for a lot of drivers out there. Now, the big question is what do you do? Do you come into pit lane? Do you get those fresh tyres, or do you stay out? It looks like everybody is sticking out there. A few people making it very, very late and doing the weave. I think Riley Curtis is the first of the cars in that top 20 to come into pit lane for fresh tyres.
If you're further back in the pack, you got to try and make something happen. So there's only, what have we got, 17 laps to go. So it's not a lot of time, but if we get another caution, if he make a couple of spots there, gets another caution, he might be able to move himself up towards the top 10.
That's it. And what were we talking about earlier with Ruben Phelps? We were saying battling hard to try and keep on that first car lap down, and it has paid off for him. He has got the wave around, and he's back on the lead lap now, Ruben Phelps. So he was battling hard out there with those leaders, and as I say, every right he has to do that, but he managed to keep it up out there, and he's managed to get back on the lead lap. So good job from him.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's right. You're battling to stay in this race. So now he's done that, and basically he's going to have a right away back to the lead lap here, albeit off the back of the pack. But that's better than being a lap down. But yeah, he was having a good run up tonight until I think he got caught up in some rubbish. But now got back on the lead lap. We'll see if he can make anything happen here.
Yeah, that's it. Back on the lead lap is never a bad place to be because you never know what's going to happen in motorsport. It's never a given until that checkered flag comes out, of course. Just looking through the field, Raymond Jaeger is looking a bit worse for wear with Phil Otto in 17th and 18th. Both those cars have some special aero modifications for some extreme cooling on the cars. So they're running the extra cool package of the car. Raymond Jaeger is running the super version without a bonnet, of course. So that engine should be nice and cool for him. Yeah. It's not so good for the sponsors, but it'll help that engine keep nice and cool.
Yeah, definitely. But another shout out here. I've given him a couple this season, but Barry Neal here sitting in third place at the moment, doing a great job. So he's my biggest improver this year. He's coming on strong. He's race smart. He's been in these positions before, and he's starting to show up there a lot more regular now. So yeah, good job to Barry Neal in the 22 there.
Yeah, Barry Neal having a good run this season. He's currently sitting 18th in the standings. He's only had 6 race starts, so that does make a big difference, of course, because we've had 8 races run, so he's missed out on 2 of them, and he's up there in 18th position. So good running from him so far. Has had a top 5 finish as well this season, so a good run for him, and he's had some improvements, which is always what you're looking for in the sport, is just getting those little improvements done and working your way up there, and that's it. It's just plugging away. It takes time. You don't just jump into a series and instantly win it. It does take time, and especially over a championship season, it's not the easiest thing to do. Now, the big thing is going to be this restart for Skurlock. He has got to make this restart work. Is he going to jump as quick as possible like we've seen the last few times, or is he going to make Pearson wait a little bit? We're soon going to find out as the pace car is going to drop into pit lane. Skurlock's going to hold it. He's holding it. Pearson tried to anticipate there, and he got caught out a little bit. Skurlock gets a good start. Barry Neal behind him does get a bit of a tank slapper.
Yeah, wheel spin off the start for Barry Neal on those old tyres. So Ryan Jones takes it 3 wide. He's on the outside of the 31, on the inside of the 13 of ANZCAR. Neal way sideways off the exit there, so he's going to be under attack down into turn 3 here. Yeah,
bit of a contact as well for Danny G as well.
Oh, Phil Otto's around in the background. We've got a pile up down in turn 3 again. We've got ourselves a Forest car park.
Big contact there.
Some tempers getting raised out there as well. The drivers are having at it a bit. We go back for a replay. So we got Paul Jackson into the back of the one of Phil Otto. Mark 1 Esports car, Ruben Phelps just got that lap back, sneaks through that somehow. We might get an onboard shot of that and see if we see how he's got through that. He's managed to do a great job through that, but we can jump back. Here we go, jump back for a replay. It all happens in front of him here.
Oh, just lost it for a second, but
inside. The 2-3-1's coming back up. He's going to make slight contact there, possibly. but manages to get through pretty unscathed, really, for what was in front of him.
Yeah, a bit like parting the Red Sea there. He just managed to find a way through. Good job from Ruben Phelps to actually make it through all that carnage. He just caught it in time as well, just to miss. Just to,
you can
to
drive
miss.
through those wrecks.
Yeah, brilliant job there. So, yeah, that would have been a bit of a clencher as well. I'm sure he would have clenched his teeth pretty hard in that one. But he made it through unscathed. That's the important thing. And that's going to help him for the next restart, of course. But the big person that this helps out is going to be Michael Skurlock.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer this race sort of winds on under the yellow, the better it is for him. So, yeah, we can still see some replays there, some great replays there. You can see exactly what happens here. It's the 2-3-1 gets back of the one, sends him up to the outside wall. There's the boys' car park, and Ruben just gets through there on the outside of the 2-3-1 there. So, not a good night for Phil. He's been involved in a few of these, and he was parked up hard in the fence out in turn 3.
Yeah, unfortunate there, and suffering damage already as well. The car a bit slow, and I think that might have been part of the incident, maybe getting caught because he was a little bit slower than the car behind him was expecting. But you have to take that into consideration as well. Just jumping back through the field a little bit, we saw Foster get caught up on about lap 103. He's worked his way back up to 14th position. He's just behind his teammate of Norman Clark there in the Two Flat Blokes sponsored car. Andrew Dyson just in front of them, but there's a few drivers that have made some good recoveries. Luke Trahir as well has managed to get that car back up into 15th position. It's not looking the best. It's a little bit beaten up, but he has managed to get it back up there nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. And keeping an eye on our championship there, Josh Michelmore there. He's sitting 6th at the moment currently. He's got Barry Neal, who'll be in front of him, and he'll be on his inside for this restart, who was struggling on those older tyres. So look for him to make a pass early on and continue to climb back up through this field.
Yeah, Josh Michelmore is going very long on the tyres. I think he is pretty much on the same stint as Michael Skurlock, about 70 odd laps on those tyres because of that miscommunication in pit lane. It's coming up that he has taken more tyres than it actually has happened because he stopped because he came through pit lane, but he didn't actually take any tyres in that one. So himself and Skurlock are both on tyres that can be measured with a calendar in the length of time they've been on a car.
Doing a great job to keep it up there with those old tyres. So great skill from Josh there, and that's the reason why he's leading this championship. He's one of the best out there.
Yeah, that's it. I think we might have lost Barry Neal. He's back. He's back. Big blink for Barry Neal there. So that could be a bit risky. Hopefully it stays, but we're going to go back to green flag racing here. Where's Skurlock going to drop it? He drops it perfectly, gets a good jump over Neil Pearson. Jason Martin managed to carry away with that one. He's going to put pressure on Neil Pearson on the inside line here. Will he be able to put enough pressure on Pearson to make it work?
Oh, we've got James Robbie sideways through turn 1, gathered it up, but I heard a call for wrecking, but they've gathered it up. They continue to stay green here.
We've stayed green. It was a very, very almost a big thing. Barry Neal having some issues. He's started blinking. I think he's going to pull down and actually drop to the back of the field because he is having some connectivity issues. Big shame for Barry Neal there. He was having a great race. Neil Pearson gets a big slide. He manages to catch it, but goes into the wall.
Oh my God. Dwayne Priest has got into the outside of Andrew Dyson, spinning down the back straight. Oh, Dwayne Priest just got a tank slapper. He did exactly what James Robbie did early in the race, and the innocent victim there was a 041 of Andrew Dyson.
Yeah, and that was very close. I was just actually looking back at Foster there quickly as well. He just caught the wall, but managed to avoid that incident there. But yeah, that was a big contact for those guys.
Yeah, there's not much going on there. There's a lot of sideways movement, and the 777 finishes him off there at the end as well. So two big hits on the 041, but originally it was a 777 off turn 2 getting loose that caused that one. But mate, I was going to call it out when I gave Barry Neal that shout out. I was going to say watch it turn to crud here, and
Yeah, that's a real shame for Barry Neal. Hopefully the connectivity issues have sort of worked their way back, and it's actually things are working out for him. But that's heartbreak for him because he was doing such a good run up there. But I think unfortunately, he's out of the race from from technical failure.
Real shame. There's nothing you can do about it. All you got to do is just it sort of scattered the field a bit, caught a bit of high tensions in the field there, just because they weren't sure where he was, and sometimes it just pops up, and you can actually hit the car when it pops back up on accident. And, there's not much you can do, but the longer this race goes on like this, it's looking good for Michael Skurlock. So we're going to go back racing here. I reckon we're going to get 2 laps. We're going to get a green white checker here unofficially.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be a fast and furious couple of laps. Will Neil Pearson be able to catch Skurlock on this restart? He's had so many times watching Skurlock pull away from him. Jason Martin just behind Pearson as well. He looked pretty racy that time round. We're going to see Jason Martin try and thread the eye of the needle and try and push it through. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. It's going to be a fast and furious couple of final laps here at Richmond Raceway.
Yeah, we're about to find out. I think they're going to go 2 to green here. If it's 2 to green, if they stay single file, we'll have green white checker. If they double up here, we'll have 3 laps of racing. So we'll just keep an eye on. I think it's going to be 2 to go this time by. So yeah, we're going to go. We're going to have an unofficial green white checker here, folks.
That's it. And Matt Hunter just confirming down in the chat there's going to be some big changes coming through for next week. So we will keep you informed on what's happening there before the race starts. Of course, let you know exactly what's happening. Just try and clean up the race a little bit because we've had another bit of a caution fest tonight. 13 cautions, I think, by my count, unfortunately. But Michael Skurlock is going to be leading the pack away once more. Will he be able to hold it in front from a fast-charging Neil Pearson in the DPR Timbrix car, with the Mitch Motorsport car of Jason Martin right behind him? Basically, a Mitch Motorsport car 3, 4, 5 and 6, all the way down to Hamish Gallagher. You've got Josh Michelmore and Danny G in there as well. Ryan Jones, next car in 7th. 8th, Joshua Carroll, Philip Worley up there in 9th still, and Norman Clark having a good run in 10th.
Yeah, look, there's a couple options they could use here, I think. And they could have 2 splits. They could have a top split and a second split for qualifying, so they can split it 30 cars per each or whatever they do. But that's one way they can do it. So we'll see what they come up with during the week and go from there.
Yeah, that's it. We'll find out what happens. Yeah, it's going to be a green white checker. So
stand back.
Final. Yeah, final caution. So this is it. So if we're going to caution after this, then that is it. But green white checker situation coming up. Got Skurlock in front. Pace car's lights are out again, and we are going to go back green here for the ANZCAR Cup, brought to you by AJ Insurance Company. And away we go. Skurlock gets a good restart once more on those old tyres. He's managed to get it sticking once again. Pearson has got Jason Martin down on the inside, putting a lot of pressure on him at the moment. Pearson goes a little bit sideways, loses a little bit of speed, and that's going to give Jason Martin the opportunity to get up there into second place, possibly. Will Pearson be able to hold it? He goes down on Jason Martin, manages to keep it in front, puts a bit of a block on there, manages to keep that second place, but that battle is getting furious. We've got cars battling all the way through the pack at the moment.
Josh Carroll, big dive down the inside. It's going to cost him possibly a position on the outside to Worley. Whatever flag is the one that ends it. Josh drives him into the wall there.
That's Worley, Joshua Carroll Walden, and that was Norman Clark as well in that. A real big shame for Norman Clark. This is going to give Michael Skurlock the chance to get through as the checkered flag is out. Skurlock takes the victory.
Riley Curtis spinning across the line. Nigel Patton spinning across the line. Yeah, that was a bit dirty from the 35. Just drove Worley straight into the outside fence there. So he might be in a bit of trouble for that one.
Yeah, we have to go back and have a look at that one because, yeah, it's a bit tricky to find out exactly what happened as those two have made contact, and unfortunately it launched Worley into JCW's teammate of Norman Clark, who was having a great run up until that point, and smashed him into the wall. Let's have a run through the results as they work their little selves out. I think we're ready to go. So up in front, the winner doing celebratory donuts for Crank Esports is Mr. Michael Scarlock. Neil Pearson came home second, Jason Martin in third, with Danny G in fourth. Fifth place for Hamish Gallagher, sixth for Josh Michelmore. Ryan Jones started seventh, he finished seventh. Joshua Carroll-Walden finished eighth in the end. Matty Raymond having a quiet run, but a good run to get up there into ninth place. Foster recovering up into 10th place at the end of that one. Ruben Phelps, star of the race for positions gained there, I think. 29 positions gained, although Josh Michelmore actually 35, but we'll give it to Ruben Phelps because we saw he was a lap down a few moments ago. He managed to recover the car up into 11th place. Great drive there for Phelps. Nigel Patton in 12th. Barry Neal ended up finishing 13th, with Justin Witcher in 14th. Riley Curtis 15th, with James Robbie 16th. 17th with Wayne Priest. Raymond Yeager in 18th. 19th for Philip Worley. Norman Clark 20th. Now we have 21st is Christopher Finley with Luke Trahair in 22nd. 23rd, Tristan Koch, Andrew Dyson 24th. 25th, Paul Jackson, Nathan Button 26th. 27th is Scott Griffith, Phil Otto 28th. 29th is Aaron Major with Mirko Dortnack in 30th. 31st, Aidan Schultz 32nd, Kai Turner, Stephen Williams 33rd. 34th, Parry Anastakis, Michael Schroeder 35th, Aaron Dillon 36th. So 37th for Gary Wellman. Jason Hardigan 38th, 39th for Adam Rosell, Lachlan Urquio out with mechanical issues finishing 40th, and Matt Hunter out early on with a spin 41st.
Well, we got there in the end. There's plenty happened on our last lap. A lot of cautions in there. Like we're going to have cautions. It's racing, but we just got to try and tidy up a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and it can be the trouble on these short tracks as well. It's sometimes you don't see them quite as much on the bigger open tracks, of course. Sometimes these short tracks can be a little bit more sketchy, of course, because there is not much room and they are a bit harder to drive, especially here at Richmond. As we said, it is a very, very tricky track. But yeah, what a race there, and what a great drive from Michael Skurlock. Managing to keep those tyres alive. Did 88 laps on those tyres, Skurlock, and as I said, he's one of those drivers that can keep tyres going no matter what there.
Absolutely. Got himself to the point of the field and never let it go. So great drive from the 350 there.
That's it. So we will grab our third place man, Jason Martin. Jason Martin, welcome to the booth.
G'day, mate. How's it going? Been a while.
Good, thank you. Been of a long time no speak. It's been a while since the last chatted to you. Congratulations on that P3 finish. Looked a bit sketchy out there at some stages tonight. The track looked a little bit loose for you guys. But you got back there and you managed to finish in P3 for yourself. It looked like you had some good battles as well.
I had a bit of fun when it stayed green for a little while, but I would have liked a lot more green flag laps, and I think I could have done a bit better.
Absolutely. It's one of those things that we've seen it a couple of times now, unfortunately, a few of those cautions coming out, not helping out in those situations. Obviously, you threw a bit of a gamble with your pit strategy, only coming in the once through that race. We saw you staying out a lot longer than some of the other drivers. Was that sort of to plan, or was it sort of a bit of a on the cuff sort of situation for yourself?
Yeah, I actually did a race here the other night, and I found out after about 10 laps that new tyres that they have, it doesn't help them much. And if you can hold your line and keep it steady, you can keep them behind you.
And that information certainly paid off for you tonight, because you did a great job in those early stages when you were leading on those older tyres to keep it up there, of course. We saw some good battles as well coming from you guys as well. So obviously always fun to get the battles up the front. Just hopefully next time we'll see a bit more green flag battling.
Yeah, that'd definitely be good. I prefer long runs.
So that's it. Jason, before we let you go, of course, the usual things, shout-outs and love to your sponsors.
Well done, Michael, on the win. Good drive, buddy. Well done to Josh, coming from like 40th odd and finishing, where was it, 5th or 6th? That's a pretty damn good job. Thanks to BK Designs for the skin. And yeah, thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast for everyone.
You're always welcome, Jason. Hopefully, we'll get you back up in the box in a nice short period. Hopefully, we'll see you back here relatively soon. But congratulations on that P3 finish. Before I let you go, of course, next race very different. Not a short track. We're at Talladega. What are your feelings on that one coming up?
Apparently, there's pretty big aero changes, and it's going to change how the race goes completely. So, it's going to be really interesting to see how that works.
Exciting. Looking forward to see how that one goes. Thank you so much, Jason Martin, for Mitch Motorsport.
Cheers, mate.
Next up for the DPR Simrigs team, we have Neil Pearson, a regular to the booth this season. Neil, congratulations on a P2 finish there. Looked like you had some good pace out there tonight. We saw some good racing from you as well. Just couldn't quite get there at the end on Skurlock.
Yeah, it was a good race. Scully drove well. Congrats, man, for the win. Did great. And Jason had some good battles with him as well. It's pretty much every restart we were either outside or inside of each other and battling hard. And yeah, it was good fun. The green flags were fun. The yellow flags were not.
As is often the case in motorsport, it's never fun to be going slow in a race car. You want to be going as fast as you possibly can, of course. But yeah, we saw some great battles with you guys. We saw, obviously, the restart looked a little bit tricky. Skurlock doing some good jobs of getting the hammer down and just anticipating at the right spot. I recall one restart where it looked like you sort of thought Skurlock was going to drop the hammer and he didn't quite do it, just caught you off guard. But how hard is it to be on that outside line in a restart?
Oh, it's really difficult because you just don't know when the leader's going to go and he's hard to see. And yeah, you got that guy on the third position, that's like prime position for a restart. If you're not first, that inside. So I was just trying to do everything I can to get a nice launch and keep in front of Jason or whoever was in third and try to attack Skurly, but it was just too random and I just couldn't anticipate anything. So yeah, it was too hard.
No, well, it is another top 3 finish, not a top 5 finish for you as well for this season. You've been having an absolute wicked one at the moment. Obviously, you must have been a little bit happier to see Josh Michelmore starting down the back of the field today, thinking that might be good for championship position gain, but he managed to work his way up there. So it's going to be a close one for you still towards the end of the regular season, it looks like.
Oh, no, you want to race your competitors equally. I mean, it's more fun when you're both racing hard. I was just trying to get as much points as I can just to get that deficit back. I'm not going to lie. I want the points lead back. So I'm going to do everything I can to get it back, and hopefully we have some good clean racing and some green flag racing as we go.
Yeah, that's it. And as we said to Jason before, of course, Talladega next. How are you feeling for the very fast super speedway?
It's going to throw some wild cards. As Jason said, the aero's changed dramatically, and I don't know how up to date people are with how it races. So it's not going to be like how it was, like at Daytona. So I think there might be some frustrations, but if teams get together and work out what they need to do, I think you'll see them going forward.
No worries, and hopefully we'll get you back in the box soon. But before I let you go, Neil, of course, the usual shout out and love to sponsors.
Just you guys, as always, for doing the broadcasts. I'm going to go have a watch of it later, annoying my partner with it. She loves watching me yell at myself on the screen. And the ANZCAR guys are putting on a good league. It is good. It's a bit frustrating at the moment, but they're doing their best, and hopefully they can put some stuff in and we get some good running now. But as always, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Benmax Mechanical, BetSmart Racing Services, NP Designs, and just my teammates for really keeping the motivation going, especially after Martinsville. That was a pretty bad week.
Congratulations, and it's nice to have you back in the box, and I'm sure we'll see you get here soon. Thank you, Neil Pearson, for DPR Simrigs cars. Next up, we are going to grab the winner of the race, one Mr. Michael Skurlock, of course, second win of the season, coming up to another super speedway. So we're going to get you back in the booth next week, obviously, Skurly. Congratulations on that one.
Yeah, Carly. Cheers, man. Thank you. I'm pretty just stoked to get some finishes, man. Logged up now instead of having bad results, getting taken out or whatever. Like to get 2 in a row gets that momentum going. I can start actually get the confidence going again as well.
Well, it's a scary thing to have you with confidence because we know that you are very quick and you are very, very tricky to beat out on track. And a confidence girlie is a dangerous one, of course. Looked like you had that race pretty much under control, but I imagine it wasn't quite as easy as it looked on the stream.
No, exactly. I was about to say that exact thing. Like it looked like I knew what I was doing out there, but I didn't. Like I thought, I was every time they pitted. The first time everyone pitted and I didn't, and I'm like, oh man, I just stuffed this. I just destroyed my race. Like I thought I was going to go to the back. Well, I knew I was going to get passed by everyone because only about 5 people didn't change tyres. So I knew that was going to be bad. Then I was going to change tyres in the middle when no one else did, and then go to the back and try to survive the whole coming from the back thing, which isn't easy these days in ANZCAR on a short track. Anyway, but it worked, man. It worked out. And at the end there, I just got lucky, really. I was it went from not wanting any cautions at all to really wanting people to crash. I was wishing the worst on everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can imagine it was getting a little bit squirrely there at the end. I think it was about 88 laps you did on those tyres. Was she starting to feel a little bit worse for wear towards the end of that race?
Nah, to be honest, it was feeling all right. I think because you get the yellows coming out, you get those cool down laps, and then the tyres, they got like another 3 in them where they feel all right again. And like Jason was saying before, there's the drop off. The tyres are good for about 3 laps, and then they sort of go just to a stock default setting where they're just the same forever. So like if you're on the outside, you can pin people down. It's really hard to make a pass, and vice versa. It's really hard to make a pass anywhere, to be honest. So I knew that if Neil had a good 10 laps on me, I reckon there wasn't nothing I could do about it. He was going to get me because his tyres were still a bit better. But as those yellows kept coming, I was like, oh, here we go. As long as I can sort of get him off the line when I get a jump, I was going to get something going here. So I'm just happy to be up here, man. Enjoying it.
And we are happy to have you up here, of course. It's always a pleasure to have you in the booth, Skirly.
Yeah, thanks, man. As I say, it is unfortunate that we had 2 short tracks in a row because it sort of exploits the worst part of oval racing, which is the constant wrecking. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you can do about it, to be honest. It's hard because we want a big field, but if you try and filter too many rules into it, it then siphons people out, and then it makes a smaller field, and then people don't rock up, and then we have 10 people racing. We don't want that. So you want the fields to be big, but how do you make people learn how to do it? So I don't know. It's hard.
It's a tricky thing, and as you said, it's been a tricky one because, of course, we had Bristol Dirt, then we had Martinsville, and of course Richmond. Three very short tracks. But Bristol Dirt, of course, was a very different one indeed. But Martinsville and Richmond, both notoriously tricky tracks, and can bring out the cautions. And as you say, what can you do to get it working? And we do see it in full metal racing as well, of course. It can sometimes get to a stage where you do get a lot of cautions, and it is unfortunate sometimes. We did see a few moments of just people just losing it slightly, just having that little moment, and then being unfortunate, just having a car in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And it can be very unfortunate when it happens, of course. But yeah, wise words there, Scully. What very strange to have them from you, of course, but wise words indeed.
No, it's just just for the enjoyment of everyone, I guess. I mean, not everyone's got the time to put in to practicing relentlessly to learn it, so it's meant to be fun. But then again, it's not so fun when everyone's crashing. So catch 22, mate. But I'll be
Absolutely. No, that's it. And of course, the usual things: the shout out and love towards the teams and sponsors and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah, mate. Crank Esports, we've got a few new blokes jumping on. It wasn't the greatest night for them all, but it doesn't matter, mate. I got W, so let's not lie about it. That's all that matters. What is it? iRace Designs, and Virtual Motorsport Mentor, Chrissy P's virtual motorsport mentor, and you guys for putting on the show.
Where was Chris?
And me chin, mate. Chin's back. It's planted, ready to go. On that rim.
Good to see, good to hear. And as Dave said, where was Chris tonight?
I know he might have been on Tinder.
Of course, yeah. Well, that explains it all. So now we know. Now we know where Chris was. So I'm sure you'll enjoy listening back to that one and finding out that you've let his secret loose.
He's doing a different type of racing. I bet he won that one too.
Thank you so much, Michael Scullock. Look, coming into Talladega next time out, of course, you are in contention for the Triple Crown, of course, the little thing we have running for the super speedways. How are you feeling going into that one?
Terrible, mate. Terrible. But I want that thing. I need something. Some
gotta go for that win. Like, I will wish you all the best of luck, and I won't mention you in the broadcast, so chances are you won't have a wreck.
All right, mate. Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Thank you so much, Michael Scullock there, Crank Esport. Good win for Skirley there, and as we said, he took out the victory at the beginning of the year at Daytona. He's got the chance to go for that Triple Crown for the Speedways, of course. Dave, thoughts on that race?
Yeah, it was a rough one. It was pretty entertaining though. At the same time, like I actually didn't mind it. There was a few cautions, but I didn't mind the racing. The racing was pretty good from what I saw, and the wrecks, 50-50 were racing incidents as well. So yeah, not too bad. The one thing I did get right was that Skurlock does talk a lot of rubbish, so I'll take that as a win.
Oh, look, it's not well known much around the paddock, that one. No, that's it. So we have, of course, got more racing coming up on FGMeCast. We are back with the trucks on Monday night at Texas Motor Speedway for the trucks. So a little bit different there, 100 laps around Texas. Then, of course, we have the Oz-Pro-Am Series, which is heading off to Interlagos, off to Brazil for the next round on Tuesday. So April 20th, I think that is. April 20th for that one. So make sure to join us there for some endurance racing around one of the great Brazilian tracks. And then, of course, we have Talladega here next week for the Cup. Of course, Super Speedway action. That's going to be a fun one, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, love a super speedway. Shame I can't be out there doing it, but next best thing, I'll be calling it. So yeah, look forward to that one next week.
We look forward to it as well. I can't wait for that one. It's going to be an interesting one. So a big thank you from myself, Carl Withy, of course, Dave Douglas, and a big thank you to Stuart up in the box, Stuart Brown, for doing all of the wonderful camera work we have seen tonight. And we will all see you next time out. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye.